Week 2 of the first season of BUBBL's Ultimate Battle League is finally here, and Playmore is taking on the Detroit Piptons, coached by Vandy. This is a battle of the roommates, Tyler, but before we dive into his team, how are the standings for this season looking so far?
Well, the good news is Playmore is tied at the top of the standings. Granted, it's half the league that is currently tied there, but one thing definitely worth noting, Vandy coming in, one of those teams that lost in week 1, John, but the slimmest of margins, only lost by 1 in the opening matchup. We've had Vandy on the channel before. We know how good of a content creator he is, but he has really come into his own as a draft league battler now as well.
He absolutely has, and when you look at the team he drafted, there's a few familiar faces, but that Terra Captain Thundurus really stands out to me. And what stands out to you with the team that Ben is bringing, Tyler?
There's only one thing that stands out to me here, John, and that is Spiky Joe. Last week, we were let down, not by Spiky Joe, of course, but this week, once again, John, I am hammering the over Quill. I've got, well, I just dropped one of my pennies. I'm down to 2 pennies that I'm putting on the over this week. That's what I'm taking. That team that you saw, that's the entire team that Ben is taking. If you want to know why, you can watch the extended team builder. It's linked in the description below. But for now, let's see what Vandy's bringing.
We know everything about the team we're bringing. It's time to see the team we're up against. And of course, we see our old friends Garchomp and Metagross. But shockingly, Tyler, there's no Primarina here. Now, the 6 Pokemon brought are very good. You know, you can't bring everything, but that's going to make things a lot easier for Greninja, which is exciting. I do see both Terra Captains, Tyler. Do you know what Terra types they will be in this battle?
So there's a Terra Poison on Thundurus and a Terra Water on Porygon 2, which we expected. We did not expect the lack of Primarina, leading to our only Terra Captain Volcanion having Terra Grass to handle that. Not exactly advantageous, but we know the Mineral can work around it.
The most important thing is no Primarina means things will be a bit easier for Greninja. And that brings me to the sponsor of Play More, as always, play-more.store. We have this adorable Bubby plush back in stock, limited release, so they are only there as long as supplies last. Get them while you can. The best way to support Play More is to get one of these fellas. But it's not the only frog we're excited about. Tyler, we're leading off with the Greninja, and this should be an exciting start.
All right, we know that's going to be the case on our side, but what is Vandy going to lead off with here to tell us if Bubby can do anything in this spot?
Okay, that's not ideal, Tyler, to see the Thundurus for a few different reasons, but I think the biggest reason is the Prankster Thunder Wave. Now, we have also heard the coach talk about Choice Scarf as well. No situation you stay in. You got to immediately go into Iron Treads every single time. But I really do love how aggressive the coach was with Choice Specs Greninja, a Pokemon we think could possibly clean up, especially without Primarina. But probably not the best lead matchup.
Yeah, safe move by the coach. It's a scary one here because he's also told us that he expects this thing could be carrying Focus Blast. Good thing in that spot, we don't know if it is or not. If it's, choiced as he suspects that it is, it's locked in anyways. But there it works out as a perfect play to pivot around.
Yeah, and I really like getting this beginning of the battle going. Ben had to switch into Iron Treads no matter what, but gets a better idea of how our opponent is going to play. A little bit safer to begin the battle. No crazy predictions, which is usually the right move. But if you're going to get someone that immediately Focus Blast, you might need to adjust your strategy, being ready for some big predictions. But now it's so much safer just to go straight for the knockoff. It feels very, very easy to know there is going to be a switch out into a Pokemon that could have Flame Body, so this could really come back to bite us. I don't know when it would happen. It didn't happen. There we go.
I had reacted like it didn't happen, and if it happened after that, I was going to be absolutely distraught because Ben told us, he was like, if there's one thing that can mess this thing up, it is this bird and its ability to burn in different ways.
That's a good point. We probably should expect a Will-O-Wisp here, but most importantly, if we can get Stealth Rocks up now, I mean, we are just kind of good to... we don't have Stealth Rocks on us. We have the Spikes and Toxic Spikes. I knew we had hazards all over
We have
the place.
hazards of some sort. I mean, you would think, like, the Spikes look kind of rocky to me.
Well, and if the Thundurus does Terra out of the flying, then it's get hit by the Spikes, but but not the toxic spikes of the point. There's a lot of hazards going on. Either way, getting rid of the boots is still useful. We get to know what's going on with the Talonflame. It is the Will-O-Wisp we expected. And now we come back together because the coach is saving our butts here, Tyler. I mean, the coach, so far, I think a flawless game every single play, putting us back in a position of a little bit of power, a little bit of momentum. And it'll be interesting to see what the coach can catch with this heat crash coming in. I don't know exactly what he's predicting. I mean, we're probably not going to see the Metagross.
He told us in the notes that he gave us coming in that the number one thing he expected if Porygon 2 was brought was it to have Trace and to try to come in and steal that water absorb.
Yes.
The U-turn tells me that might just be the case here.
That makes a lot of sense.
But the good news is, again, the Binneral told us that he expected that to be the case. So this is not catching him off guard. He's fully prepped for this, and you had to have seen this in almost all of his mocks.
Yeah, and it changes my line of thinking a little bit. I was kind of hoping, okay, is he going to catch something with that heat crash? And the reality is just trying to get some damage on this Porygon 2. Now, this is a Pokemon I'm very familiar with competitively. It has been haunting me, Tyler, for weeks. Just that blue, that light pink. When I close my eyes, I can see it, and I can't really see things in my head. It is ingrained in my memory. There's a lot of reasons this is a nightmare, but the biggest reason for this battle specifically is it's so hard to take out if you can't get rid of the Eviolite. Now, the important thing here, and it seems like the coach is going with this line of thinking, we cannot let this thing get out of the situation with full health. If it does Terra up, we're in a fantastic spot. I do think that's the Benneral. I'm not sure. Ben does not have purple hair. Unfortunately, it's the Benneral. Not to call out our sweet, sweet coach. It would have been very nice to see the Terra water pop up, but just keeping pressure on this little rubber ducky is very, very important here. We do not want it to get out of the scot-free. And I actually kind of love seeing the Thunder Wave. As now, Tyler, 1,000 times out of 1,000, we're seeing recover from the ducky, right?
Yeah, and again, I mentioned this with the switch in the first place. This is what Ben prepped for from the duck. We have yet to see literally anything from it that is different from what he expected, especially if it does then go for the recover, then you can just check another box there. And that's exactly why this set has been built with Dragonite, to catch it in the recover, encore it in, and then potentially set up and go ballistic.
And it really just showcases why the team we drafted this season is so incredible. I'm so happy. Like, this was just so textbook to get into this spot, be able to encore the Porygon 2 in. And if Porygon 2 stays in, I mean, it's probably not time to say it'd be game over, but all of a sudden, Multiscale is not broken, Dragon Dance up. We're at least punching a hole in our opponent's team. But it really doesn't matter that Volcanion got Thunder Wave. That Pokemon came in, it's supposed to soak up a few hits. You know, you talked about it, you know, being there for Primarina. Hopefully we see that Water Terra on the Porygon 2. But even though we don't see Primarina, we don't see the Terra Water. Volcanion still did what it needed to do to get us in this position. But unfortunately, while our coach is dominating right now, great prediction after great prediction, our opponent is playing pretty well themselves, getting into Metagross that might have Ice Punch here, Tyler, and making sure we don't get a free Dragon Dance up after an encore.
Well, it's, for Vandy, so fascinating to think about this progression for someone that watched Draft League and now being in Draft League. When we laid out the situation where these two are roommates, we know the talent that the Binneral has as a Draft League coach. We know how good he is. We just went to a final. And now here's been Vandy this entire time just soaking in all this knowledge. And there are a lot of similarities that you can see between their styles. Obviously, we talked about the Pokemon he has on his team that we've seen on our teams in the past. You can see the similarities that end up leaking over in terms of the team building, the composition as well, which in part, I know for Ben, probably made it to where some of this was not easy to prep for, but he could know what was going to be on the other side because the tendencies are going to be similar to what he would do in these exact same spots, which to me just gives this battle such a fascinating dynamic.
Yeah, and speaking of fascinating, it seems like our coach was confident enough to stay in, not worried about an Ice Punch on the other side. We see Heavy Slam.
Yeah.
And this is going to be really, really interesting because, Tyler, there's a chance that Vandy, knowing that you have to break multi-scale, you're not going to be able to one-shot the go-over here, maybe going for Heavy Slam, you know, really baiting Ben to keep Dragonite in and then Ice Punch to kill it, or there's just no Ice Punch on the other side. Hey, you can only have 4 moves, and now Ben has a chance to punch a hole through Vandy's team. You just talk so much about, you know, the pupil maybe becoming the master, learning so much for Ben. I really think this turn is going to showcase so much.
Yeah, and if we base a lot on what Ben expects to see on the other side, because in these moments, that's what he's banking on. If that's the set on the other side that Ben thinks, there's a possibility he's got in his mind that is a choice-banded Metagross he gave us in the notes. There he goes for Encore. That eliminates that choice. You would basically force it to be in a choice position. Here with the switch, you can see the hands above the head. Ben feeling like, and obviously it's easy to say in retrospect, you do another Dragon Dance there, battle's done.
Yeah,
and the switch probably gives away in that spot either, well, it could just be both. It's the choice band, and he couldn't go for the Ice Punch, or the Ice Punch just wasn't there on the Metagross.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I think so far, I mean, Vandy's playing a really good game, and Ben is just, I need him to trust his instincts a little bit more. Now, it works out, no burn, Talonflame gone.
Huge.
That's really, really huge. But we are kind of in a position of what could have been. You know, now we do have Wish from the Screamtail to hopefully bring into the Dragonite, get multi-scale back up. But seeing this Metagross back in, I would not be shocked if there was an Ice Punch coming our way now. But if that's the case, well, we did make Volcanion into a... It's Tyler. I think we know what time it is. Tyler, I think we may know what time it is, unless Ben just wants to get damage on this thing with an Earthquake. But I have big dreams, Tyler. I got big dreams.
Is it time
I got big
to
dreams.
make some money? Come on, do it, Ben. Do it.
I thought you were going to say make some noise. Tyler, we talked about this last time.
What?
The Spiky Joe fan club. I started it. I brought you in. I thought we were creating a movement. Seemed like people were very excited about Spiky Joe. Stop putting money on Spiky Joe, man.
John, I'm down to 3 pennies.
Make some noise for Spiky Joe. Tyler, I'm very confident that Vandy, after... That was, you know, for better or worse, better for us, worse for him, a very telegraphed Ice Punch. You know, he was just in a spot that was tough. He can't get swept. You need to get Dragonite out of there. He was kind of forced to go for that play, but it puts us in an unbelievably good position with said Spiky Joe. Now, are we going to get a little aggressive here? Do we want to get up hazards and really, really mess with the team? I love this. Get a little Toxic Spikes up. There's no Terra Poison on the Thundurus yet. And that means Porygon 2, poisoned. Garchomp, poisoned. Annihilate, poisoned. And the only way this really stops is if the Thundurus came in and did not come in. So hopefully we're getting at least one Pokemon poisoned on the opponent's side, even if we do need to switch out on the very ugly shiny Garchomp.
Well, and Ben told us when this Garchomp comes out, we've got the switch for it. The Screamtail with no attacking moves, just there to pretty much not even annoy, because there's some sets that you build just to pester your opponent. This will probably annoy Vandy a little bit, but it is more so just this mechanism that is designed to not let Garchomp do anything, and perhaps get a Wish up, move some things around. That obviously the optimal play. It's kind of tough to telegraph a Wish and a Dragonite when you got the Garchomp out there on the field right now. But for a moveset that doesn't have any attacking moves, there are a surprising number of things that Ben can now do in this spot if it goes Z predicts, and it does.
Yeah, I really, really love this. You know, there was the chance for the double Dragon Dance and really, really, causing some havoc against Vandy's team. Hey, that didn't work out. Still got rid of Talonflame. And I think instead of getting that second Dragon Dance up, getting the Toxic Spikes up and really putting more and more pressure on Vandy's team is a little bit more of the long game. But I feel really, really comfortable about the spots. And now, I mean, this just feels like a free Wish. Garchomp's probably not going to be able to do too much against us. If it does Swords Dance, we're going to Encore. It switches out. Wish feels great. Now we just get to switch into something, get that wish, and that feels great. And it looks like it might be time, Tyler, to make some what with Spiky Joe?
Money!
It's noise, man. We talked about this. Like,
Do you hear my clapping? Do you hear my pennies?
Hey,
That's all the noise that you can make when you're down to three pennies.
Yeah, that's fine. That's it's okay. You know what? That's fine. Whatever. I mean, that's
but the important part is we're united here. Like, we have different reasons for wanting the over, Quill. One of us has taken it. One of us is cheering for it. But we are in unison.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put some of my frustration to the side. And what is very exciting about this is the way this team is constructed. It's how I love playing competitive. Whew, that was scary. How I love playing competitive. It's a format that I've really seen Ben absolutely excel with. Having a bulky offensive team. We got 2 assault vest users. We got that Rocky helmet user. Obviously, that was a lot of scary damage, but I feel like at this point, we are beyond confident this is a choice-banded Metagross, and we're just in a really good spot, Like, we have a lot of things that are going to be able to tank hits, those wishes. I mean, every time Garchomp comes in, and it will get poisoned with Toxic Spikes, we know we can hopefully get a wish up to something else. I just feel like we really, right now, have a stranglehold on the momentum of the battle. But I am interested to see how our coach is going to try to break through, as things have definitely stalled a little bit.
Yeah, I think it just sets up in a spot, and we've talked about this with the team that Ben has last week, in that you can't afford to get in a battle with this team where you're just getting damage chipped away. And we have that happening with the Toxic Spikes. You set up regular spikes, as long as you're able to have those out there, with Greninja still sitting in the back in waiting, with the power that Dragonite has. This is not a team, again, that you could just get in this back and forth of getting chipped away with. The more that happens, the more that things kind of stall out as they have, as much as we both love aggressive play, it's just going to keep playing into Ben's favor.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think this is where we differ a little bit, because I think, aggressive play is, you don't want to lose momentum. I don't want our coach to be on the back foot. But this is not the most exciting for the fans, but this is so optimal. To get into a spot where our opponent is on the back foot, like, it's pretty clear we're going to go for the spikes there to gain some momentum, but you cannot stay in. You cannot risk it with Metagross. We outspeed it naturally. There is a chance, like, you don't know investment. There's a chance it outspeeds. You can't lose the Metagross. It's dealing so much damage. It's putting pressure on us. And, I don't think Vandy made the wrong play. Ben has forced his opponent into such a inopportune spot. Now we have spikes on top of the Toxic Spikes. Puddin's back in. We might just see another wish. And even if we don't see a wish, this could just be a spot where now Ben makes an aggressive, double switch here, expecting to see, kind of the straightforward play on the other side from Vandy. So it's just, we're in such a good spot. This thing's getting whittled down. Metagross coming in is going to get more whittled down. It's so beautiful. We're not going down to a move. And even if he's worried about it, Tyler, we got the protect. It's frustrating. It's all frustrating. But at this point, Vandy needs to get into desperation mode. And I don't know if I see anything that's going to allow him to break through. Do you?
No, I think the difficult part for where Vandy is right now, and we mentioned this earlier, I think Vandy has had a pretty good battle.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think that he's done anything blatantly wrong. If anything, I think the moment that we would look back on right now as the missed opportunity was perhaps the chance for Ben to go for that second Dragon Dance when he didn't earlier on. Obviously still in a position to be able to win this battle and still on the front foot. But it's almost a frustrating moment for Vandy where it's like, man, I feel like I've battled a good battle up to this point. You're almost in a spot where you need something to go your way. He hasn't had that big thing go his way yet.
Oh!
That is a big thing to go his way. Now, I don't know how big of a thing is, but those are the types of things that I'm talking about, where you're just waiting. You hadn't had the flame body get you any benefit from a burn along the way. Now you haven't had a big crit or anything. Now you get a poison. Now it's not the end of the world. It may not be a massive thing, but it's that first domino that could fall to try and shift some momentum, because while he's had a good battle, so far the momentum has stayed on Ben's side.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that may be what Vandy needs to break through. Now we see the safe play, of course, is go for that protect, get Screamtail all healed up, make sure we have what we need for the Garchomp in the future. But if Ben is able to be a little bit more aggressive to capitalize on Vandy capitalizing on this position, that would put him in a really good spot. I do think this is probably the correct play. And now it's really going to be up to our opponent. What are they going to do with this gift? It's really important to gain a little bit of that momentum. There is the switch. That is absolutely the correct move. How much can they take advantage of this? Okay, the Metagross. This is going to be pretty interesting, Tyler. I don't know if Metagross is going to be capable of really breaking through the team. It's really, really powerful, but once it's locked into a move, it really can give Ben the momentum. I mean, this might be the battle right here, honestly. What do you expect to see from this Metagross, Tyler?
I think a lot of it goes into what you had said earlier. I think this is when it shifts into desperation mode. Now, that wasn't a desperation switch, as you said. I think that was just the right play. I think we're going to see more from Vandy. Just attacks, not trying to account for switches on the other side, trying to put that pressure on to where either you are going to switch or something is going to get hurt bad. We've already seen the heavy slam. That kind of just seems like the simple play in this spot for Metagross. Even if you bring in our boy Volcanion, who is, again, can't move, stagnant, stuck in place, can still erupt, but unable to move, you're going to get a good chunk of damage. I like this play from Ben, because I feel like it threatens enough. If you're Ben, the biggest thing you can do is continue to threaten and force switches to derail that momentum, as it doesn't do enough damage. It's Volcanion, we talked about this in the draft, it's bulkier than you would think it is. If you can force switches, not just to derail momentum, but get more of those poisons out there, mission accomplished, and you continue to stay out in front.
Yeah, and I really think, fortunately for us, I mean, hey, we are biased commentators. The game is the game.
Yep, a little bit.
This is this is what you want to see. Volcanion, we don't need it. I think the way Ben has built these early teams is we always have a Pokemon that can go down early to make sure we're not losing momentum. I really feel like Vandy needed to bring in something that could break through. It was not something that could break through. And now Garchomp is poisoned. Porygon 2 is poisoned. This is best case scenario. Metagross is getting whittled down. Rocky Helmet spikes. 2 Pokemon are getting whittled down with the poison. We have not lost momentum. And even if Ducky's able to take out Volcanion, that really doesn't matter to us. I really just love this spot. And now, I mean, it's... Tyler, I really, really love what our coach is doing. It's a lot slower than what we're used to, but it's yeah. He's putting on a show. This is clinical, man. This is just right play after right play.
Well, and Vandy's at a spot where I just mentioned most of these cases you expect an attack. Now, obviously, the safe play here would be just go for recover. But even if the Porygon 2 does attack, it's not going to do much to anything in any case. So, again, great job by Ben. There was a window. I think that's what there was just a window of opportunity for Vandy. He doesn't get another status there. If he did, I would have felt weird for talking that into existence 2 straight times. There was a window of opportunity. Ben almost immediately was able to shut it and take the advantage back.
And I think the beautiful thing about this is it's one half team building and just one half gameplay. There just has not been an opening for our opponent. I've been there. Ben's been there. Most competitive battlers have been in Vandy's spot. It is so frustrating. You're just clawing desperately. How do I break through? But unfortunately for him, I believe this may be where our coach starts to break through. There's not a lot of easy switches here. If Ben goes for that Earthquake, there is a chance we see that Thundurus come in, which is why I do like the knockoff here and maybe a little bit safer. But, I mean, we're just whittling this team down little by little. I don't think we need a big prediction at this point. What is coming in wants to take a knockoff?
Yeah, I think they're very smart play from Ben. It's fully safe. If they go into Thundurus, the best thing that you could do, Ben expects it's Choice Scarfed, and I think it being the thing to lead off so aggressively in this battle might have tipped that hat. a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're able to get that off, take the damage away as well, you put yourself in a spot where you don't know what the final score of this battle is going to be. It's still not going to be an easy battle to the end. If you were able to pull off that play and Vandy made that switch, you're in an incredible spot. Ben obviously still in a very good spot. I'm just, I'm a little biased here. I think we both are. Again, it has nothing to do with the team itself, but I'm just kind of hoping, John, that he doesn't kill with a move here and leaves just enough for that poison to do the job and put Spiky Joe not just on the board but in the history books of play more.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest right now. If I don't see Spiky Joe on my screen, I'm not really thinking about Spiky Joe. What I'm actually thinking about is the beauty of the position Ben is in. It's bringing me back to my competitive days. This might be bringing you back into the green. So I'm happy for you, buddy. I'm real happy. But here's the beautiful thing. I think you nailed it. Thundurus, Choice Scarfed, right? That's going to prevent Greninja from winning. That's going to help him keep Dragonite in check and not sweeping him. So Vandy has what he needs to prevent us from sweeping and outright winning. But because he's keeping that in the back and because that is most likely Choice Scarf, he is in this spot where he's not able to use it aggressively and his team is being whittled down. So while he's not going to be swept most likely by one singular Pokemon, by the time Thundurus comes back out, it's going to be too late. And Spiky Joe might have 5 kills at that point, Tyler. I mean, talk about the record books. Spiky Joe, that man was eating carrots last week, Tyler. He's going to be, well, I guess maybe he doesn't want to eat caviar. No, he's going to be eating caviar this week after he gets his 5 kills, Tyler. But this, to move past the Spiky Joe of it all, you got me excited. This is the desperation play. Vandy needs to try to break through. He still has that speed in the ends. This is the sweeper. This was always meant to be the sweeper. Here it is. Ben has to play around this thing perfectly or things could get real worrisome. But Tyler, it looks like Ben has prepped for everything, doesn't it?
He has. And I was not spending that entire time prepping to see if the live odds had updated to 1.5 on the over-under and placing a singular penny on that number to see if we could. I mean, you said 5 kills. I mean, you really hooked me on that. But no, I mean, everything is going great for everyone.
It is.
Everybody.
And I know you're not a big fan of moves like Encore on a fun Pokemon that can do the...
We've discussed this. I absolutely despise them, yes.
But it's incredible, Tyler. Not only is Encore the perfect thing to prevent the monkey over there, it's telling me it's a monkey. I now understand that. That's good to know. Now, interesting. But, the prediction here is to force Vandy to not go for bulk up again, knowing it could get Encored in, maybe have to switch out. Seemed like Vandy is just saying, dude, things are not looking good. What do you think's happening? Yeah. I need to make some offensive moves. But either way, it doesn't matter. Dragon Dance was the correct move there. And I think this is going to be a dead Annihilate or something's going to switch in and go down. This is absolutely perfect. I would have loved that Encore play to have worked out great. Vandy did still predict that, but not really too worried about... Multi-skill is already broken. Not really too worried about that damage, Tyler.
No, and I like here from Ben. It feels like an obvious play, but I love the obvious plays. Just stack this thing up. Like you said, once multi-scale is broken, Dragonite gets put in a spot where the new game plan is just deal as much damage as it possibly can. And obviously the health is one thing, but when you're Dragon Danced up, you're not worried about that. You realize, I think any point, once Dragonite is below that multi-scale, you've pretty much accepted, with the weaknesses. If this thing gets hit by the wrong move, it's down. It's time to just, I say this with a monkey on the field. It's time to go bananas. Down goes monkey.
It was absolutely time to go, banana. And it was important to make sure that you can break through that bulk up to get rid of the Annihilate. You don't know the defensive investment. You just have to be able to kill that thing, not let it get the boost with Rage Fist. And you just hope now you can outspeed. We've talked about Choice Scarf, Thundurus, the way this was brought in. Vandy is clearly hoping it would outspeed. I would not be shocked if it did outspeed. It does. Math can be difficult. I'm not doing +2 Dragonite versus max speed Thundurus Choice Scarf. I have faith that Vandy knows what he's doing. Bada bing, bada boom. But this was perfect. Because of how Ben played this battle, it was a slower play, slower burn. Yep. Even though Dragonite is gone, Annihilate, Vandy's best chance of at least setting up and sweeping, is now gone. Yes. And we just have to make sure that we don't lose to a speedy Thundurus. But as long as we have Iron Treads, Tyler, I feel pretty darn good about that.
Well, it's what we talked about earlier. And while obviously it hurts to lose Dragonite because he's one of those that you can bring in to clean stuff up, Ben is in a spot. You save Greninja for the perfect moment. I'm wondering if this is the perfect moment to potentially go for this with Dark Pulse. Hope for no switch, regardless of the switch. I think you do this here because then you keep the front foot. That was the biggest advantage there to how Ben had to pick, or how Vandy had to pick up that kill there. I think you go Bubby here, start to put that pressure on, because if Bubby is able to come in with all the damage that has already been dealt out, clean things up, it's over. There are just a couple of threats that just need to be dealt with to set that up. And if in the process Bubby is used as more of a bargaining chip to do some more chip damage along the way, that's not a bad thing either.
Yeah, and now we know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Thundurus is Choice Scarf. Yeah. If that thing locks itself into an electric move, it doesn't matter at the end of the game. We win. We have Iron Treads. So I really love bringing out Bubby. Force something to die. Best thing you can do. We have more sacks than Vandy has. This should corner Vandy. There might be, like, maybe Thundurus can live one Dark Pulse and is able to get a little momentum, which is what we're seeing here. And with the right crazy prediction, Vandy could claw his way back in. But again, we still have more sacks than Vandy. Now Thundurus can't take another hit. I think every Pokemon on the team would go down to a Choice Specs Dark Pulse. So this is potentially Vandy's last stand. The game is not over. With the right prediction, things could get scary. But again, I just think we might have enough sacks to get through almost any prediction that could be thrown our way, Tyler.
Well, and worth noting here, Ben went with Protean and not Battle Bond for this battle on the Greninja. So now with just the Dark type, one of his predictions on the Thundurus is that it would be carrying Focus Blast. If that's the case, we're hoping for a miss here on our boy Spiky Joe.
Ooh, okay.
Come on, Joe.
That was the right prediction. But Tyler, we didn't need that first miss. Tyler, if there's a second miss.
I just personally wanted a survival.
Tyler, if there's a second miss, not only is the game over, Spiky Joe will have won this game. Oh, Spiky Joe! You monster! You animal! Oh my God! Wow. I've been talking about it all game, Tyler. I love the team we have so much. It put Ben in so many great positions of, I don't care if I lose this Pokemon here. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to stay aggressive. I'm going to make sure that if anything goes wrong on your side, it's going to hurt you way more than it would hurt me losing Spiky Joe or Volcanion. Now, it would hurt our feelings deeply, but just
would have hurt my pockets very deeply. But John, we are rolling in the green. What, Brown? I'm still working with pennies. It's a long way to go.
You know, humble beginnings from the Spiky Joe fan club. You know, you're rolling in the dirt. We don't have a building set up yet. I think that's what you're talking about. That's fine. We'll get there with enough kills. But for now, it just gets back to the textbook play we've been loving. Sure, we see an earthquake. That's great. That's fun. That's amazing. We're still going to see that poison go down.
Yep.
We just need our coach not to forget how to play Pokemon and make catastrophic mistakes.
He's yet to do that yet. It's not happened up to this point.
Nope.
I don't say that to bring upon any kind of broadcaster's jinx or anything. Ben, if if you do this, it's gonna be on me. Really would not like that very much. But man, just what a battle from the coach up to this point. When you come in and your entire Terra strategy is built around one Pokemon and that Pokemon's not brought, and still you referenced this earlier, it's not just the prep but the in-battle adjustments to put yourself in this spot to where a good portion of your game plan coming in was going to be the hazards, to still set that up flawlessly and have this battle go the way that it's gone. Every opportunity that Vandy has had, again, he's had a good battle. Every opportunity he's had has immediately been shut down. Just an incredible job by Ben.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was a really good switch on Vandy's part. Vandy is doing everything he needs to try to claw back into the game. And I think at this point, you know, we can just celebrate not only the team that was drafted, but the team that was built. I mean, it's early into the season, but I feel like this is a team that really could do some big damage. I love how it all works together. And at this point, unless there's a hidden choice scarf that I like, I don't think it's even possible. I'm pretty sure we know without a shadow of a doubt, there's no, I mean, maybe Pokemon changed and a Pokemon that was knocked out can pass along its scarf. This should just turn out to be a spot where Greninja picks up 2 final kills. And, you know, we're skipping into the next week happy as Greninja's climbing up that kill leaderboard and Spiky Joe is climbing up the kill leaderboard.
I do want to say, too, because we referenced Screamtail as not, you know, having any attacking moves. Technically, Psychic Noise is an attack, but I don't know if we can actually call it an attack with the amount of damage that it just did. So for anyone that was going to comment that, I want that to be your reference point.
They don't care, Tyler. But you know what? As long
because the one, if you were going to comment it, you're right, and it's okay. And I was, you know,
there's 3 comments I expect to see.
If you've made it this far, you've had a good time with Spiky Joe anyway.
Spiky Joe, Greninja, things that will hurt our feelings. And 2 of those will make us happy. So you know what? That's what matters. Greninja getting a kill. And again, unless there was a choice scarf passed from the deceased, I think this should be.
Ben, what do you think about just switching around here? Like switch.
Nope.
No, if anybody's gonna steal it, it's Bubby. I can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. An incredibly clean win. So happy with every single part of this battle. Oh no. Oh boy.
That was obviously very tough, but.
Hey! No!
Injury to insult. That's a tough part of battling your own roommate and losing, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. I think Vandy played a tremendous game. It's just, again, really exciting for us in the booth and every Play More fan to see just how dominant this team can be. Just shutting down every single thing Vandy did, whether it was a fantastic prediction or a really scary Pokemon being brought in. 2 weeks, 2 wins. It's a shorter season, so these early wins mean so much, Tyler. Still very early. Can't get too big of a head, but it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait for next week. But that is something you can actually click right here. It may be here already, and if it is, just click on this battle. Now, if it isn't, you should sit around, wait, relax, put it on your calendar. We'll be watching week 3 soon, and hopefully we can keep stacking these dubs.